Great reviews, intelligently speaking sports. You already know what it is. It's the Grist Report. What's good, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of the Grist Report. So I'm gonna kind of wing this one. I'm on my way to train right now. So we're gonna actually discuss in this first episode the fight that actually just took place between Showtime Shawn Porter and Earl the Truth Spence. Both fighters coming in with belts around their waist. WBC belonging to Shawn. Earl Spence actually had the IBF, which he captured from Kell Brook. Shawn Porter beat Danny Garcia in a very entertaining fight to win the WBC strap after losing to Keith Thurman previously. So with that being said, coming into this fight, this is going to be what Earl Spence's biggest test would seem to be. Being that Shawn Porter is an extremely awkward fighter. He's extremely strong, used to be a football player, so a lot of people try to tag him with that. But to be honest with you, man, you know, you got to give all boxers respect. At the end of the day, these dudes get in the ring to essentially entertain you and put their lives on the line for some cash for their family. So regardless of whatever background a fighter came from, you know, anybody has the ability to excel. And, you know, in the past, I've actually dubbed people bums and all this other shit. But, you know, like I said, I'm a fighter too. And this is not anything easy. But with all that being said, Shawn Porter came into the fight, you know, obviously coming up short, as we can see with Earl Spence. This is actually going to go through some of the highlights here. And, you know, I personally thought that it was a very entertaining fight. I thought that Shawn Porter essentially came out to box, and when that didn't work, as y'all can see, these are the early rounds, and these is not clips that are biased towards anybody. They're just equal clips that I clipped off the internet. But you know, he tried to come in with the jab, tried to box his way in, and really that didn't work. A lot of the things that Shawn Porter, you know, normally can frustrate a fighter with you know, like his aggressiveness and his actual footwork, which is fantastic. The spin move in the corner, which I'm actually going to steal. A lot of fighters are not ready for that. Adrian Broner was not ready for it, and it allowed Shawn Porter to open up his offense. Well, on this fight, you know, he did have offense here and there. He did land some big shots. I mean, he wasn't too far off from Earl Spence in terms of landing punches, but they threw about almost the same amount of punches. Earl Spence ended up coming out landing more punches, which ended up being in the later part of the rounds, which you'll see the scorecards very shortly here. So, you know, a lot of people was like, you know, Earl Spence didn't walk right through him, so it was this type of fight. It was really a split decision. It was a draw. You know, I can't really say it was a draw because the champion lost the later rounds. The champion was the one who had to divert his game plan. Earl Spence pretty much adapted to everything Shawn Porter threw at him. And then, you know, everybody say, well, this is the knockdown saved Spence. Well, I personally believe that the scores indicate that he was clearly winning this fight. I mean, yeah, one judge is going to see it one way because they may favor, you know, one type of style. Some people favor the aggressiveness in the fight, and other people favor the ring generalship in the defense, which Earl Spence had a lot of great defense, so did Shawn Porter. But a lot of those punches that Shawn Porter was actually throwing, a lot of people was entertained by, were either blocked or they didn't really phase Spence like that. I mean, he took some great shots. Earl Spence throw some bombs, and Shawn Porter proved to me that he got a fucking chin. Like, you know, yeah, he got knocked down by Broner, but at the end of the day, that was like a flash knockdown from what it looked like after I go back and I look at it again. Like I said, this is a great fight, but I just didn't have it as a split decision. I had this as a UD. I understand Earl Spence got hit as much as he ever did. That's because he took more chances than he ever did. He had a fighter who was willing to take more chances than he ever did. So, I mean, ultimately, I'm not sure where people are coming up with this whole, you know, this was a draw. I mean, this is kind of reminiscent of Marcos Maidana versus Floyd Mayweather, where Mayweather, who had came off of boxing victories against Guerrero, who else? Canelo, basically boxing motherfuckers and making them look stupid, and people was like, oh, well, he can't do this. So he went out and proved the public otherwise. Same thing Earl Spence did with Mikey Garcia, proved his boxing ability to be a lot more than what people thought. And on this personal fight, he came out just to go toe-to-toe, because what other way can you fight Sean Porter? Look at this. I mean, there is no way to get away from Sean Porter. I think Sean did a very, 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 very tremendous job in there, though, man. Like, he earned my respect. A lot of his moves, I'm going to go ahead and take those because, you know, they worked. And, you know, if it wasn't for Errol Spence's athleticism, his height, and just him knowing what, you know, was coming towards him, then I believe this could have been a different fight, possibly. Look at this. He's ready for that. He catches the fight. I mean, he catches the punch down low. He's ready for the spin. He's adjusting. Like, we never seen Errol Spence move like this in the ring at all. And this ain't even about, you know, me being an Errol Spence fan, because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a fighter. I just admire what one fighter is able to do over a period of time, evolving. And that's, you know, that's what boxing is all about, evolution. So, you know, we got this little, you know, I seen this on the internet. I had to go ahead and put that up there. But this is a great fight. You know, these are going to be the later rounds where Sean essentially, you know, lost even after the knockdown. I think it's going to show some of the great angles of the knockdown. But, you know, this was action-packed. This is exactly what we needed. Now that this is over with, I believe, you know, it looks like Danny Garcia is gonna get that nod from what it looks like, but I believe that Errol Spence should go with Manny Pacquiao. Why? Because he has a belt and he's on PBC. It's easier to make that fight. People who don't understand the business of boxing don't understand that don't nobody want to fuck with Bob Arum like that. Not even De La Hoya. He does it because he has to. Not even Eddie Hearn. He does it because he has to, because Bob Arum always has a few. He always has a few budding stars that he has locked into a contract that people want to, you know, actually fight. You know, to me, Terrence Crawford's going to have to lead Top Rank just like Manny Pacquiao did, Floyd Mayweather did, Oscar De La Hoya did, Miguel Cotto did, Mosley, he also left, and on and on and on. I can keep going on and on and on. The fighters that left Top Rank and actually did better. Now, I'm not trying to say Top Rank is not a great company, because obviously it's been around for years, but, you know, it's something not happening there for black fighters. You feel me? And Terrence Crawford, to me, is actually fighting B and C competition at the end of the day. It's not no knock against Terrence Crawford. It's just, you know, this is what Bob Arum is doing to make his prize product look good. And if you put him in there too quick, think about how quickly Manny Pacquiao's career would have been probably cut short, because he lost to Floyd Mayweather in 2009 rather than 2015. You know what I'm saying? So rather than thinking it's a fighter afraid, ain't neither one of them fighters afraid. Terrence Crawford is not afraid. He has a great style. I really want to see this because it's going to be reminiscent of a Hagler-Hearns type of fight. You know, Terrence Crawford got a great jab, and you know, it'll give Errol Spence a lot of trouble, and the fact that he can switch up. But I want to see if he can take what Errol Spence had to offer. Look at this. This is a war. We never seen Terrence Crawford go through any of this. Let's just be real. I state the facts. Fuck all the emotion. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to agree with me, but at the end of the day, I'm only going to state that's something that's obvious. You feel me? Terrence Crawford has never been in a war like this. You can't say Uriah is Gamboa because he was 2 weight classes below, which a lot of people try to criticize Errol Spence for fighting Mike Garcia, but that was a money grab. You know what I'm saying? That was a way to get more exposure to become a pay-per-view star. Now, he don't really owe none of these dudes shit at the end of the day. Terrence Crawford he's still not doing what Errol Spence can do on pay-per-view. I mean, these are just the facts. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody tuning in to the fight like they tuning in to Errol Spence's fight for Terrence Crawford. These are just the facts. Only hardcore boxing fans, people barely know Errol Spence, so they really don't know Terrence Crawford. And it's not no knock to him, it's just because of the promotional job that Bob Arum is doing for him. So, you know, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here because I gotta get my butt on. I'm actually, you know, now late, 7:30 on the Dizite. You know what I mean? I gotta learn as much as I can. I want to thank y'all for taking out the time for listening to me today. And you know, just be sure to tune in and subscribe and share the video, and, you know, give me your feedback, because I mean, again, I look at the numbers. Round 8, 9, 10, and 11 and 12, Porter failed to outland the challenger at the end of the day, because that WBC belt is a bigger prize than the IBF belt, right? So if you lose all those rounds, and that's what the judge had. The judges had it the same way I had it. Those judges that had it for Errol Spence had him losing the same rounds that he, on punch stats, landed way less punches. It was because those punches were smothered and blocked. Y'all got to go back and watch that fight. Go back and listen to Lennox Lewis. You see, he keep disagreeing with everything the commentators are saying because those two commentators don't know shit about boxing. Most people don't know shit about boxing, as for Roger Mayweather would say. You know, go back and listen to Lennox when he's saying, you know, this is why Earl Spence is doing this. Well, yeah, that's smarter Earl Spence because of XYZ. And then they basically were just hyping up Porter. It seems like to me Earl Spence is taking the bad guy route because he's speaking a little bit more vocally. They did like Earl Spence when he was a little bit more humble. Now that he's like, look, I'm going to send these motherfuckers down one way or another, hand down, man down. Look, Sean Porter knew at this point, like, this shit over with, bruh. But look at the final stats. Pause the video if y'all want to. You know what I'm saying? Go through. I went through and made sure y'all can see everything I'm speaking about. I don't speak nothing but the facts. Look at the judges' cards. Look at the cards. Look at the last later rounds. Porter lost these rounds. You feel me? Even on the unofficial scorecard, he lost these rounds. And you know this. I think this is the judge for Porter, right? So maybe he liked the work rate he was doing, but maybe he couldn't see the fact that he wasn't landing them shits. You know what I'm saying? Either way, you know, I guess Danny Garcia is going to be the next guy to take that hand down, man down treatment. That's going to be a good fight. This has been the Grist Report. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.